much for the cake. First I started with lube and a bowl and then a pan, and we made a turntable. It's Lacey's 17th birthday, and we didn't make her a cake.
Yo, yo, yo-y.
I was so excited when I saw Lacey want me to wrap her a cake.
Hey, you know who I'm sick of? People who say that animals don't have a full emotional spectrum, especially when you could easily go to the countryside to witness a sheep get drunk and send a you up text goodbye. Hey, people always ask me, they say, Lucas, what do you want to be remembered for? Your acting, your comedy, your impressions, for example. None of those things, because when I was in elementary school, we had a canned food drive for a tragedy in Haiti, and I was the only one to think to throw in a can opener. I'm still proud of myself. Goodbye. Hey, if you're someone who says that a broken clock is right twice a day, by that logic, it's wrong 1,438 times a day. We need to stop saying this unless we want to raise a generation of mediocre clocks with gifted child syndrome. Goodbye. Hey, if you need a little bit of an ego boost today, consider this an alternate universe dance. Misinterpreted you. Goodbye. Hey, what would you call it if you sent J.K. Rowling into space? AstroTurf. Goodbye. Hey, you know.
I think my dog's food.
Alright, come kibble for the dogs. What?
Just kidding. Let's start with
Okay.
ground turkey wrap.
Ground turkey? For a dog?
Sweet potato.
Sweet potato? Okay, I guess that's not rice. Okay, rice ain't bad. Right, that's good enough for a dog. That's a lot. That's pretty good. There's one. Heart. A neck. What?
Tail.
What? What? Oysters? The dog is eating oysters? A raw egg? I don't even like raw eggs.
Mixed berries.
Mixed berries?
Broccoli.
Broccoli?
Plain
Yogurt? This dog eats better than I do.
herring.
Herring?
Health.
Oh my god.
Ground up eggshell.
Whatever.
Health food. Cabbage. Vitamin G. Thanks, my dog.
Everyone hates me because I like to sing. Actually, it's because you're really singing. So are you like the gay one, or it was mostly Twitter? Hi, students, I'm your teacher. It's time to have glee club rehearsal. Let's start by talking about all of our sexual exploits. Everyone under 18, you go first. Well, you can tell I'm straight because I don't wear sleeves. You know, there's a new hot transfer out. Her name is Juliet. I put the children's laundry today. Do you like me? Yes or no? I sure hope you check it, Juliet. Or speaking of proposals, I think it's time for me to shoot my shot at whatever Jane thinks his character name is. I'm pretty sure she's a lesbian.
Yeah, okay, we're here. So another day. So
Hey girl, I'm like the English football team. I look good, but I'll always disappoint you.
Right, new strategy. I'm going to attack the opening and set it back.
Hey girl, you can call me Fulham, because I definitely won't be coming first.
22 man, 2 openings. Hey. Man on, man on, man on. You didn't play soccer. I could make you feel like the World Cup. Unlike the
how to what? Oh yeah, I'd add. No 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 no. I don't know. It's stuck in my head now. I always forget that you could do this. Yeah, so. Oh, I wrote it wrong. Okay. There you go. Cool. Notepads and. Yeah, I just went in a deep dive into. Well, not a deep dive, but I went into like more than I thought I would get. A little bit more than I thought I would get with what's it called? Pens. We went on a pen subreddit, right? And I was like, just a sec. I'm gonna plug my phone. Pen subreddit. And not. Cause okay. I have to preface this with something. I had about a pen, a Pilot Friction pen, like 5 years ago, maybe 5 or so years ago. About 5 years ago, okay, and a Pilot Friction gel pen about 5 years ago. And what it is it's an erasable pen, and basically all it is just the ink with friction, so with heat. It's really not even friction; it's heat. I guess friction causes heat. Anyway, and so with this pen, it was erasable, and so I was like a kid, it's like a whatever 14 or 15-year-old, 13-year-old kid. I don't remember what it was exactly. Right? I was just like, whoa! Like blew my mind. And if I had got that even any younger, legit, I would have been like just my mind would have just been completely blown. I would have been like, what? You can erase a pen because it's a kid, right? This whole thing was like, no, that breaks some sort of rule. Like, no. Pencils are erasable. Pens are not. Use a pen once you get old enough because you'll realize, because you'll know exactly what you're writing, which is not true. First of all, I learned that that's not true. You still don't know what you're writing, and you still make mistakes, and you still whatever, right? But yeah, that would have blown my time in my mind. No. Then I asked on the subreddit, are they good? Do people use them? Do you like them? And everybody gave me all these different answers, like, oh, for this circumstance it's great, but for that circumstance it's terrible, or whatever. Which is fine. It's just, you're right, I was trying to get the answer of, yeah, these ones, good. These, not so much. Like, because these Papermate ones, not so great in comparison to the Pilot Friction. I mean, they're okay. They work for what they are. And they're muted colors, and so they're much like, what's the word? They're easier on the eye. At least from what I've discovered, they're easier on the eye. So that's good, right? They're much easier on the eye, so. And that's what somebody said. They're like, yeah, it's great on the eye for writing for 12 hours and then apparently they're good for things like if you're going onto fabric, right? It's because you can heat, get it all off and whatever. If you're drawing designs of fabric, whatever, depending on the fabric, I'm sure. But yeah, and then what were they saying? So yeah, what were they saying? Yeah, so it's just like, oh my gosh. I mean, it's not and then these ones they look not as good, but people have said stuff like, no, that's actually pretty dang great. Why does this? Okay, why did that pumpkin? I just looked at it now. It's one of those things where it clicked, but it never registered in my brain. That pumpkin has eyelashes. Why? Why would you want eyelashes on your pumpkin? That's just weird. Anyway, what are you gonna do? What was I saying? Yeah, so the friction, and from what I remember of the friction pens, they were better. But then again, I didn't use it long enough. Also, this pen's dry now, so that's the thing that peeves me off. And the refills aren't expensive. That's a stupid thing. Okay. The refills aren't expensive. They're just they're just a little annoying to find because you can buy them on Amazon for not too crazy. You can buy pens on Amazon, and then you can also buy refills on Staples, which probably like equivalent to Office Max or something like that, right? Staples is, well, we call it Bureau en gros, which is like big office, I think. Bureau, I think, unless it's a word that doesn't work. Let me look it up. Bureau. Oh. Bureau en gros. Doesn't that mean in English? What does it like translate to? How do I spell that? Here's how I spell that. Wrong one. Wrong button. Sorry. Now I've got to go to. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what it actually translates to. Wholesale office. Oh, but that's again. That's not the literal. That's not the literal translation. Or is it? Maybe it is. I don't think that's the literal translation. Anyway, Bureau en gros here, but the rest of the country, even it's Staples, just kind of weird. The only officially bilingual province in Canada, which is British Columbia, I believe so. Or is it New Brunswick? No, I think it's British Columbia. Doesn't even call it Bureau en gros, and that's okay. That's just a stupid thing. The only official. I mean, yes, they've in Quebec here, they've, officially, well, unofficially, officially declared Quebec French, with French the only language, and like, blah, blah, yada, yada, which is a bunch of baloney, but anyway. But it's not like an official, like, written anywhere that, like, oh, it's it's bilingual. It's just stupid, but they've all accepted, I don't know, it's dumb. Anyway. Stupid thing is, the only bilingual province, the only officially bilingual province, as far as I know, and don't quote me on this, but this is as far as I know, is British Columbia, and you don't even have to pass French there. In for high school, to graduate high school, you don't have to pass French there. Just stupid. And I know that because 2 people I know went from. See, look, that one right there. It's got fucking eyelashes. What the heck? The jack-o'-lantern. It's weird. Anyway, so, and here you do. So here it's history and French. You have to pass. You have to pass. You have to, or else you don't get a high school certificate. You can fudge the rest of them and not really pass the rest of them. Science, math, all those other ones, but you have to pass those 2. And it's stupid because I'm not gonna go into this whole thing because our education system here is stupid because we learn jack crap, but crap, we learn nothing. But that's the world. So watch the video "Don't Stay in School" by Dave, Boy in a Band. It's a great song because it just proves how useless, in the sense that then they just expect you to know all this stuff. Oh, it happened, and now they just expect you to know how to buy a house, how to because they expect that's a lot of circumstances expect you, like a lot of places expect you. Oh, well, your parents taught you some of this stuff. No, but if we taught parents, because that's to say, parents should have parented you better. But then he goes, but if we taught the kids right, we wouldn't have to have that parent problem. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. So anyway, that's not a whole thing, but because what's it called? Because in Quebec, you don't learn history. You learn Quebec history, and Quebec history is literally. And sometimes you'll get like this brief vagueness of like up and in, and like the things happening at the time of whatever you're learning. But it's never history. It's always Quebec history. It's Canadian history. The course is called History of Quebec and Canada. and you learn here's the forming of Canada, and then here's all the which I mean, look, to be honest, right? And don't get me wrong, Quebec is probably the most important, or one of the most important. And I don't want people crapping all over me, but one of the most important places for like the founding of Canada, because like everything was founded basically in Montreal of Canada. I'm not even joking. Canada was basically founded in Montreal. Well, Quebec, but very specifically Montreal did a lot of the anyway. Current use or what? Okay. So yeah. So it is important. It's just the problem is, okay, I can learn all, I'm not even joking, of the history of Quebec, of Canada and Quebec. That is, now not all, obviously, because like all the little details are not necessarily there, but all the things you'd ever need to know, anybody. I wouldn't tell them, hey, you want to learn about Canada? Don't go take some, course for a year. At like a university course a year from, or like learn this. No, because I can learn it all on a record that I have that's like History of Canada. I think I still have it. I'm not sure if it's in that spot. Because I have like a bunch of the like niche records, and then I have a bag of. Actually, I have a bag and a box. I might have 2 bags. They're my dad's records, obviously. I don't. No, actually, that's a lie. I own 1 record, and it's of my own, and it's The Grinch Stole Christmas. It's really actually a cool thing, honestly. Anyway, because it's got all the lyrics to the songs too, and it's got the like reading. No, it doesn't. I don't think. Maybe it does. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Anyway. What was the thing? Yes, I can learn the whole thing in like 20 minutes aside, because it's a long play. No, sorry, it's an EP, sorry. Extended play. Long play? Extended play? The one that's technically different speed. I don't know. I think that's LPs are a different speed. Possibly? I don't remember. I'm sorry. I really don't remember. I don't know what's it called details. I'm sorry. I don't. But anyway, so. It's very easy to teach because we did nothing. We have all these stupid. No, the problem with us, or at least Canada, right? The problem with Canada and history is just we have all these little stupid details that like they're kind of boring. But anyway, okay, you want to learn one of the coolest things about Canada? I think one of my favorite things I learned in history class was the October Crisis. Just look up October Crisis on the NFB, National Film Boards of Canada. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, what's the damn thing? Or you could look it up, the one that I did. I put on archive.org. I don't know anymore. Crisis. Yeah, okay, Canada. Let me just see if I can find it. The October Crisis. Aha, by Ribbon Spy. No, not this one. Not this one. Not that one. The one. NFB is, which is the one? No. Oh, Action. Action, the October Crisis. This is one. I believe so. Oh, it is this one. Let me just check. Only an hour and a half. I also like it to have the narrator. Narrator just speaks. They speak in a very just like monotone, but like I don't know, descriptive way. I don't know how to explain it, but it's this one right here. Because I put it on the thing, but then I realized, oh, it's not good quality at all. Because I have a rip from it, apparently. Oh, I have a rip from off TV or something. No, you know what it probably was? It was probably because my dad used to do it all the time. He used to, because he was a teacher, and he used to rent movies from the National Film Board all the time, documentary videos or educational videos, or even some non so much, not so much educational. Anyway, like documentary. But anyway, yeah, it's great. That teaches you. That's the cool thing. It's basically, now it's not. Don't get me wrong, but it's the closest thing we ever got to a civil war in Canada. It's actually crazy. This story. Now all the details are a little bit boring, to be honest. And just a way, because let me just be here. Our current prime minister, who a lot of people don't like. I don't like him, to be honest. I'm not going to go into my political beliefs, but I could if you want me to. But Justin Trudeau, and at this time in the 1970 October crisis, was his father was prime minister. I'm just going to make a hot take right now. I think number one reason why he's Justin Trudeau's prime minister right now is because he's a Trudeau. His father was, and paid dues. Anyway, that's beside the point. But I digress. The way he handled it is amazing. There's a section. He just handled it so damn well. It's insane. Because a guy comes up to him and basically, or reporters come up to him and basically go, "Man, what's going on, man?" And he's like, "What do you mean? You haven't seen the men with guns?" "Oh, no, I've seen," or who says that? Let me just see. Make sure I'm getting this correct. Because, I don't want to spoil anything, because this is one of the best, I'm not even joking, it's one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. It's so blunt. That's why I like it. It's so just boringly blunt, while being just really important. There's nothing else to it. It's just, here you go. So who did what? Oh yeah. Okay, so the reporter asks him, "What's with all the men with guns? What's going on, man?" And he's like, "What? You haven't noticed?" No. It's "Oh no," or "Who said that?" Yeah, he's like, "Haven't you noticed? It's great." And he basically goes, right? He's just like, what's it called? He's like, yeah, I mean, basically it's what's your solution? Well, not to have soldiers around. Well, while this is going on, as long as this is going on, you need soldiers around. Sorry. Basically. No. Just no, sorry, it has to happen. That's the thing. He's like, "I'm worried about all the guns, man. That's not people running around with guns. That's not a safe place to live." And it's yeah. Basically, he goes, "What's your solution?" So. That's the other thing too. It's because you have to look into consideration. Oh no data. Oh crap, no data. Okay, there you go. I hate when it does that. It says no data and then comes back. Anyway, so yeah, because you have to watch the whole thing to understand the whole context. So. But yeah. It's a good one. Anyway, that all talking from freaking pens. Anyway, that all stemming from freaking pens, man. I was talking about pens and then went Bureau and Grow in front. Right? So, the Bureau and Grow. So I got it at Bureau and Grow. And because Bureau and Grow doesn't carry. See, the whole thing I was trying to say there was Bureau and Grow doesn't carry this pen. But the stupid thing is, well, at least my Bureau and Grow doesn't. But I've done that with a few products. I've found that with a few products that they just don't carry them at certain places anymore. It's like, what? Why? And I've gone to a right where I've gone to a different one and they do have it, which is weird. Which doesn't prove necessarily that they all don't carry it and they just have a backlog and they just, I don't know. Right, and like they're just selling them all until they're gone. I don't know. I don't know that for a fact. Right? So, which could be the case. But that's so stupid when like online though, because that's the thing. I went on Staples.ca, right, which is Bureau and Grow's website, and it just and they show pages and pages of just they have these pens, and I'm like, and refills and all this stuff associated with Pilot friction ball pens, gel erasable pens. And then we go and we ask somebody and they're like, yeah, no, we don't carry that. And now that doesn't necessarily answer any question as to, well, do you not carry it in this store? Does Staples not carry it around here? Or sorry, does the Bureau and Grow not carry it around here? Does Quebec not have them? The rest of Canada get them? Or the rest of, I don't know. Do you only sell them online? That's a stupid thing. I hate when they only sell them online. And it's like one of those niche products where it's like, where it's just a little bit too expensive, or just a little bit more expensive than or niche where you're like, oh, I want it, so I have to spend stupid amounts of just a little bit more because or it's exactly the same price. It's pretty good. It's whatever. It's what's the word? Not comparable. What's it called? It's not marketable. What's it called? It's competitive, right? It's just competitive. It's fine. It's good. It's a competitive thing. It's fine. It's whatever. But they get you with something like shipping or something. You're like, oh, you suck. Or the worst is when a product just doesn't. They just don't have it, right? They just don't sell it at their store. But they'll let you do some stupid pickup where you're like, so you have a warehouse somewhere with these sitting somewhere, but you can't stock a store with them. Whatever. Was it that one or that one that was? No, I think that one was. I don't know, because one of them had a whole section of pens. They set up a whole. They reconfigured the store, right? Not just for pens, but obviously, but into a layout. And there's a whole section with pens and pads. You can try all the pens. You can this, do that, and it's just but this is the one pen they just don't have. It's dumb. And it's not the one pen, obviously, but good gosh, it's I specifically wanted because I think it just worked, and Papermate always to me felt cheaper for whatever they did. I mean, look, Papermate making paper. I mean, you can't really go bad with paper. There's too thin. There's too yellow. There's too little bits. But come on, what's really wrong with this, right? You can't really mess up paper, So Papermate making paper, or Papermate making spiral bound notebooks, or making notebooks, or making paper, memo pads or whatever, or sticky notes even. I don't know. I don't care. Any of those things, yeah, you can't really mess it up. But this pens are, and you learn. So from that Reddit post, I went into a rabbit hole of some people were like, yeah, they're god awful garbage, or they're always just afraid, or it'll come off in heat, or you leave it in a car, or you right? Right? Or whatever. And so they're always afraid, Or you're like, no, it's got a very specific circumstance to use these things. You don't use them every day. You don't use them. Obviously, you don't use them on like legal documents. You don't use them on this kind, that, and the other thing. Blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Does the ink wear? And apparently it can wear, and also they can smudge. It's like it's just a cheaper form of doing it, which I don't like. I probably agree. I probably see what you're talking about. It's like, oh yeah. Because it is. It very much is. It looks like a cheaper version, although they're more expensive because you have to make special ink. I don't think that the actual thing is more expensive. I just think that because they have to make a specialized ink, they can't just make this. Most people don't use it. It becomes one of those things where it's just slightly more expensive than like pens. Because you can buy pens in bulk. You can buy thousands of pens, right? Like literally thousands of pens. Just these. You really could buy these in bulk. I don't know. I was wondering, because I saw a video of King of Random, and they were doing like just using this to make art and stuff, and secret messages, and what was I saying? Yeah. So I was just wondering, could you get like the ink in bulk if you wanted to? Like, could you fountain pen this, or not fountain pen? What do you call it? Yeah, is it called fountain pen? The one it's got like the reservoir, like separate reservoir. Yeah, it's called a fountain pen. No, it's called a. No, I think it's called a fountain pen. Maybe, I don't 100% know, actually. Now I'm just like, what? I spelled fountain wrong. No? Oh, I did. Okay. I spelled that wrong. Okay. Yeah. I think the fountain pen. No, it's just because I've seen fountain pens where you can have like a bit of ink in it. Or you have to dip it, so. I'm not 100% sure which is which here. Like what? Okay. Like you can have a reservoir of ink, or you could dip it. I think. Quill, whatever. Like, can you get a jar of the stuff if you wanted to? I'm not 100% sure. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. So yeah. You just look on something like that, and you just realize how many different kinds of pens and what's the difference, and like, because there's gel, there's ink, and there's ball roller, I think. Ink. There's gel pens. What were the other ones? There was like 3 different kinds of pens. I don't remember what they were exactly, but gosh. Ball roller, gel pens, and some other one, I think. Oh god. What are they called? Pen types. What are the pen types? I know there's like more than just that, but those are the ones that most people use. Ballpoint, roller pen, and gel. Okay. Ballpoint, roller pen, and gel. If you want to learn anything about pens, I guess there's different types here. You could try something like this. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah. So yeah. And people were saying, oh, well, I've tried Papermate, and I haven't tried a lot of Papermate, and I haven't tried them extensively, but they weren't good when I tried them, and Friction was always better, and I don't know, Friction feels like, Pilot Friction feels like a high-end, because that's everything, because you look up on something like YouTube or Google, and that's like the first brand that comes up that like everyone likes, and everyone, because I feel like Pilot Friction, I know Pilot's a decent brand, like a step above some of the really cheap pens, like the Bic and the like, oh, there's another one. I think it might be just, there's another company that makes cheap-esque pens. It's Bic and some other guys. Anyway, and I think one other. Anyway, they're like just a step above that. So they're like, they're not, high-end, but they're better than the low-end, like the really low-end stuff. And then people were like, it's mixed with every other kind, right? And I feel like I don't know if they only make ballpoint, and I don't think they do. Pilot makes a lot of pens, but their Friction is like specially designed, and they're more of a company. They're not just a company that makes pens that went, oh, now we need a, good company. Now we need a we'll just make a like, erasable pen, you know. Kind of like how the car companies, all the really expensive car companies went, oh, because it's weird. At least for what I've seen, a lot of people would not buy, or no, or maybe I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Actually, I was gonna say something, but then I'm like, I don't know that for a fact at all. I was gonna say, wouldn't buy an expensive car, but that is now like affordable. So like the Porsches and the BMWs and the all that stuff, where like they were $100,000 and up. Now they're like, you know, affordable. But I don't know for a fact because the other way works kind of the same way too. Certain people, but they're a little bit more accepted. I don't know. I feel like they're more. Accepted, but I feel like they're more accepted, but I don't know. Like when you go and you buy like a Nissan GTR or like a Honda, or a Toyota. I've seen this car multiple times at car shows. I don't remember exactly what it's called. I used to love going to car shows. Well, actually, there's a point where I loved going to car shows, and then I realized I'm like, eh. Oh, at least here, right? At least where I am, unless I go to like different car shows. And there are other car shows. You'll see the same 25 cars at every car show, like 25 to 50 cars at every car show, maybe 100, maybe every car show. It's like and my friend, like I didn't really believe my friend. Cause my best friend loved cars and old cars. We used to go to car shows all the time, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that car. Yeah, I've seen the car." I'm like, "No, you haven't. Come on, like whatever, like whatever." And then I'm like, and then I think I saw like I specifically saw because it was a like car with either a different paint job or had like a symbol on or something or whatever, and I went, "Oh no, that is." Now I couldn't obviously. I didn't want to like, yep, that's exactly the one. But like, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe you can see the same car. Anyway. So like, yeah, I don't remember what the car was called. But anyway, they're a little. I don't know. I feel like they're more accepted. Like, oh, I'll buy a Mazda Miata, right, which is a sports car, or a more expensive car for that, whatever. Like, really? Yeah. Yeah, it's been great. It's like, I'd buy. I don't know. My dad is someone with a Mazda Miata. The Mazda Miata is one of those tiny cars, those sporty tiny cars with 2 seats, and I don't know. I feel like they're just useless. I don't know. Something about that like 2-seat thing makes just drive. I don't know. Are there 1-seat cars? Yes, there are. There are 3-wheeled cars too, which that was always strange to me. I think Mr. Bean drove in one of the special show episode thingies, whatever you call them, drove a 3-wheeled car. Yeah. From what I remember, I don't know. I haven't seen those things in forever. Not seen those things in forever. But yeah. So that's all to say. I don't know if these pens are going to be any good. Now, as a pen, I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure they're pretty good. The ink does look a little, wonky. It doesn't smudge, but the ink looks a little wonky, and like it is lighter, and certain parts it's harder to like. There are what's the word? Skippings or what's the word? Breakages or whatever you call them. There's a term that people kept using. It skips or it like doesn't write certain parts, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And somebody said something to the effect of they would take their book and then scan the stuff, which, hey, that's not a horrible idea. I don't know how useful that would be to me per se, but it's just and then somebody else said something like they would take it and then they would like fill up notebooks and then completely erase it and then write over, like, which I guess is fine. I don't know. Because I was going to say, you could in theory give it to someone else, right? No, or like give it to like your family members or something, your brother, sister, your kid, whatever, after you're done with it, I don't know. Because once you write over it, then it's hard, it's almost impossible to get the ink back. Because you can technically get the ink back, if it's cold enough. So, but yeah. So I don't know. In my opinion, I wouldn't. But then again, it's like the people who do the take the last page of a notepad if you're given like a sticky notes or something, and then just like with a pencil, like what's it called? Trace over the whole just write over the whole thing, and you'll see what the last person wrote. It's like, why would you do that? Who cares? This is not the some. I mean, maybe in certain circumstances you want to find out what they're writing, but most circumstances, no. This is not someone's what's the word? Lock or whatever combination. Because if you watch, there's the show called, I think it's on National Geographic. I think it was on National Geographic, but which is weird. National Geographic had a lot of those kind of shows. I don't know why. I think it was National Geographic. I think it's on Amazon Prime. I'm not 100% sure. Hacking the System. Brian Brushwood and Jason Murphy. They did like a TV show at one point, or he did a TV show, right? And they did one where it was like just you dust it with a glow in the dark something or other, or like something UV resistant or something, and you'll see, or maybe not even that. Maybe yeah. You would see which ones pop out more because they've been pressed more, right? And then oh, okay, I get it, I understand. And then I looked at the key because at my church we have a white what's it called, or we have an iMac, right, for my church for like their slides and whatnot, and it's got the original Apple keyboard. Although for some reason they don't use the Apple mouse, which I always was why not? Because if I'm not mistaken, look, I don't know these details, very well, so don't quote me on this. But I'm pretty sure either it comes with the mouse and keyboard, or if you would to buy one, you would buy one a mouse and keyboard. No, I would assume. I know the trackpad is separate, and I think it's always been separate ever since they've offered it. It's always been separate, so I'm not sure, but that's just confusing me. Why that whole, why would I, why would you use keep using the keyboard, but then a mouse, you needed a better mouse? What's the, I don't know, it's just strange to me. Maybe it was just getting too inconvenient, I don't know, or just they didn't have something they wanted, I don't know, because to me it's huh? Anyway. But anyway, so I looked at their keyboard, which is white, and I looked at the things that I was like, oh my gosh, you can see where they're wearing out more than the other ones. So you can figure out now that doesn't necessarily mean you can figure out what their passwords are, right? But, I mean, let's be honest, it wouldn't be that hard. So, actually we have two iMacs. Technically we have three iMacs, one at my church. Technically at my church they have three iMacs. One screen doesn't work, and they connected a new monitor to it, and they used it for a while. I don't know if they still use it. They haven't turned it on in a long time, so I don't know if they still use it every once in a while. I'm not 100% sure. But, because it's supposed to be a music computer to play while we're waiting for people. But I guess they didn't want the trouble of having that come into the live streams, because they've been live streaming way more, obviously over the last year and a half. So, anyway, 18 months, whatever it is. Not 18 months, because that's... Yeah, I mean... No, 9 months. No, sorry, 12. It could be 18 months, I don't remember. Anyway, but yeah. Nah. Whatever, anyway. Yeah, 18 months. So, yeah. Right? And I thought of something, I was like... Because I thought of something with these pens, right? And I was like, look, you make an art exhibition, okay? You make an art piece, okay? Now, it'll be kind of stupid, because it'll be probably expensive and dumb, because you have to keep it, whatever, and... Because you'd have to... Okay, so you make a piece with this, right? With this... It's actually called thermochromic ink, or thermochromic ink? Anyway, I think that's what it's called. Anyway. And... because the problem is you'd have to put it in a temperature regulated box, right? Or frame of some kind, like acrylic box, and then have a temperature regulated. Because you could do something where, if you've ever seen those things where if you look at a different angle, it's a different thing, it changes or something. Or if you put two things together. So if you look at the what are they called? Mad Magazine. Mad Magazine. What are they called? What are they called? They're like. What are they called? They're like, there's like a name for these pictures. They're weird pictures they had. No, they're like the ones that changing design pictures. What are they called? No, none of these. What the heck was it called? What? There was a name for these things. Anyway, if you look at the Mad Magazine pictures, where there you go. This one. Is that the right one? No. Maybe I don't know. Oh boy. What were they called? There's a name for these pictures where you folding picture? Maybe I'll look up and see if that comes up. Let's see. Folding pictures. What are they called? There's a name for them, aren't there? Fold-in interactives? I don't know. Anyway. Refold it. I was like, you make one, okay, that you make an art piece that has that, but you'd have but in a different way. So it's not completely, maybe not necessarily completely different, but like maybe like an evolution of like this, and then there's, I don't know, something that's similar but not just, I don't know, but you do it, with art. So you make like a painting that does that. You do a painting that has that. So you just, so with like the heat, it goes away, and then with the like cold, it'll go up. But then you don't have the temperature sensitive thing, and there'd be a certain amount of time it would take. And would it work perfectly? No. And would it probably wear after a while? Probably. But unless it was like sealed, hermetically kind of sealed thing, like a sealed box, and then it just temperature. I don't know, but still, I think it might. Anyway, I don't know. You could do that. I'm sure you could do that. But you'd have to also make it freeze fast enough. I don't know. And you might have to have like some sort of like timer. Be like, yo, every this many minutes it changes back. I don't know. And then you kind of lose the illusion how it like kind of comes back. I don't know. I just thought of that. I was like, that's a cool idea now. Hey, somebody wants to steal that idea, actually, go ahead. I don't really care. I'm not going to actually do the... I wonder, because it's one of those shower thought kind of things where I wonder how many people have great ideas that they never execute, or they just don't have the means to ever execute. Either financially, they're not smart enough, they're not in the right place, they don't have access to the right materials, right? I just wonder how many ideas, the solution to some problem that they just are like, well, I don't have the means to do that, so whatever. Or not necessarily knowing that they've solved the problem, because they'll never come full circle. They'll never be able to like do it, or like execute it, because they just either don't have the money or the resources or the time or the inclination, or they don't have the people, or they're not smart enough, they don't have access to the right place things, you know what I mean? Or the right places, or they're in the wrong place, or whatever, right? They're not in the right place, that kind of thing. I just wonder how many things. Probably be surprised. So, also just look back at, in the same kind of subject or topic or whatever, just angle. Look up like accidental inventions. There's just so many. So it's the same kind of concept. Or they just don't design something that's really cool because they're like, well, I can't make that. I'll never be able to make that. like I have an idea for something. I just don't know if I can ever actually execute it. I'm talking to people in China, like actual like Alibaba kind of people in China for stuff, but I don't know if I can actually do that because I don't know if I can do something. Cause I'd sell these things. Yeah, I would, but I don't know how to do it properly because I'd have to figure out ways. So, because I feel like I could do this if I can get the one thing to work properly. Because the other thing I've kind of figured out a way to maybe pass it off, like do it okay, like budget or fudge it or jerry rig it, but it's the other way. It's the other thing that I'm like, oh, but is it possible to do it like this? I don't know. I'd love to tell you what it is, but I don't want to because I don't want to spoil anything if this never comes to fruition and somebody steals it and goes, oh, it's actually possible. If so. Like materials aren't that expensive, to be honest. I found some good material, like I found one supplier. I'm like, oh, that's actually not bad. I had to kind of fudge with the guy and be like, well, I'd like it like this, and then he's like, he kind of like came back to me with like, huh, you want that? With the, in less words and in not the same words, in different words, he's like, what? You want that? What? Why? What? Huh? But it's dumb because it said that in his listing. It's just dumb. Anyway, I don't want to go too into this and you people be like, well, what are you doing? Please tell me what you're doing. No. But yeah. So yeah. Also, I thought it'd be, not like mind-blowingly cheap. Like, right? But from what I've learned is they have MOQs, which is minimum order quantity. MOQs. They have minimum order quantities. Which I knew going in, but I was hoping I could get like a less amount. But they're like, no, our minimum order quantity is this much. Well, I knew that from Scotty Strange Parts, and he's been to Washang Bay, which is like the biggest mall in the world or something crazy like that. It's like miles. It's like absolutely miles. It's ridiculous. But anyway. So, absolutely miles, so. And he just, I think he came up, like, explained the whole thing of, like, there's a minimum order. Because you don't buy, from a place like Washang Bay, you don't buy anything from their shops usually. Or, like, you don't buy one. They're just the people, they're the middleman between company wanting said product on said material, what's the word? What's the word for it? Said material, said medium, said whatever, right? And so, very much, right? And the factory. So they're usually like a middleman. They're usually a middleman, in the sense that like they're still technically that factory, but they're just like the people who show you the things, and then you buy like, oh, I need 1,000. Oh, I'll take 1,000 of them. Yeah. I like it like this. I'll take 1,000. So, or whatever their minimum order quantity is. Because he did a video with Linus Tech Tips, right? And Linus and them and Scottish Strange Parts, they did a video and they're trying to make a computer, and then he's like, I just need a screwdriver. And yeah, they had to scrounge around for like, almost like, I don't know, for hours, an hour, I don't know. But like quite a significant amount of time before they would find somebody who would sell them a screwdriver. Or find a place that sells screwdrivers. Because it looks like, these places look like shops you go into in like a little Chinatown. Sorry, little Chinatown. In like a Chinatown. Chinatown where you're like, oh, okay. It's just wall to wall. Like, there's certain places where it's just wall to wall with, like, phone cases or wall to wall with, like, crappy kids toys or watches or something stupid. I bought a watch for like 10. I remember buying a watch for like $10 at my something stupidly low like that. And before we got home, by the end of the night, right when we're leaving, the watch is like by that time it's broken, and I'm like, no way. And then I bought a Timex watch that I loved, and it was busted. No, I lost it. I didn't break it. I lost it. I loved that watch so much, and I lost it. Go figure. Stupid. So, anyway. I think I lost it at my winter retreat for my youth group. But then again, I think I did look under the bed, like, afterwards, and, like, not that somebody didn't pick it up, but I'm just like, oh, what? Imagine, I don't know. Anyway, I was going to say I didn't lose it there, but I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. So China, yeah. China. It looks like one of those places. Or like the mall kiosks. Or the mall kind of stores where they sell one specific thing. Like, oh, we're the shoe store and we just have like racks of shoes or something. You know, or like we're the whatever. Pick something. There are those stores. But no. You don't actually buy from them in like places like Washington Bay. Which, hey, you know, I got 10 minutes left. And if no one shows up, I'm gonna leave. So, I'm gonna leave. So, yeah, just gonna leave it. So, yeah. No, you actually, like, they just have basically samples of one of everything that they make, possibly. Maybe a few of what they make. Oh, there's a great video. What's it called? I don't know. I don't think that's how you spell that at all. No, where's the... Oh, a folding iPhone. Interesting. Oh, he's been doing things recently, okay. Oh, wow, he's been doing for a while. Anyway. Interesting. Let's save to play. Let's save to watch later. Interesting. Anyway, it's not what I'm coming here for. What I'm coming here for... Oh, it wasn't this guy, was it? What's it called? What was it called? Was it the world's largest mall or something? Inside the world's largest market. 3 years ago, yeah, that's the one. Oh. This guy's also trying to prove, no. You go to China, and it's insane how everybody fixes everything in China. Oh, well, not everything. That's a lot. But, like, iPhones are, like, one of the biggest things they fix in China. It's crazy. So.
Today, we're at the world's largest wholesale markets. We're here in Yiwu, and I'm with Colin on broadcast. Hey. Colin, you have a YouTube channel that has been blowing up recently. Yeah.
So yeah,
you go to markets
it's...
and you bargain for all sorts of like clothes and shoes and big brand stuff.
That's the other thing too. There are certain countries in the world where you can literally just walk into... You can walk into a department store, like a Walmart, or like some kind of place like that, and bargain. And just like full on just be like, oh yeah, I haggle, bargain. Can I have, whatever? It's like, wow. America, you'd be slapped, or North America would be slapped in the face. You'd be, abruptly escorted out of the building. Be like, yeah, do you mind? But there's parts I mean, Asia is big, but it's not just Asia though, and Asia minus Japan, because I've heard that from multiple sources that Japan, yeah, you don't bargain in Japan because it's not, Beijing or Hong Kong, or it's not China or Taiwan or Malaysia or Indonesia or any of those kind of places, or Thailand or any of those places. Philippines, not those places. Sorry. No.
I think you're right. From what I've seen so far,
Yeah.
and what I've heard about it,
So.
research it really does. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's also this mall that he's showing. Everything. And I mean, literally everything comes from this mall. Like, virtually everything. I mean, sure, there's certain other ones, but like, the made in China comes from this mall, or not necessarily from this mall, but from this mall is showing everything. So yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy, but I mean, what are you gonna do, right? Man, this city's so adamant about their trees. No, because what happened was they had taken out a whole lot of land. I'm sure there's even the spots that I'm on right now was a forest at one point, but they took out a bunch of trees, right? About, I don't know, maybe 2 blocks. I don't know, this way? I was going to say this way. What way is that? Is that north? I don't know. No, sorry. West-ish. West-ish. Right? And planted a bunch of trees in our yard. Like, when this plot of land was established, like 25 years ago. 25 years ago. And then all those trees all got the same disease because they were all the same kind of tree. They were oaks, and they all got the, like, emerald ash borer. And so they had to, like, completely say, nope. And they weren't all, I'm sure, the same thing, but that caused, I think, I'm not a botanist, so don't quote me on any of this, or arborist. I don't know if that's a thing, but I would not, but that, I believe, caused other problems. Anyway, not the point. They're just like, and so, let's be honest, most people, I'm sure, didn't want another tree. It was just weird and dumb, because they cut them all down. The city comes and cuts them all down and goes, okay, bye, whatever. It's like, and then they were like, oh, we're coming back to give you a tree. And I'm like, and everyone's kind of like, I'm sure. I know my mom was like, no, this is stupid. Why do I want another tree? I don't want another tree. So she at least got it relocated from exactly the same spot, right? Right? They could only go so far because there was a fire hydrant there, so they couldn't go like, oh, I just want to put it so close, right? Anyway, so I know one neighbor does not want a tree, and he somehow for about a year hasn't gotten a tree. It's weird. I don't know how he did it, but hey, I wouldn't be surprised though, because so the tree across the street is dead, and there's just like, or it never grew, and so pronounced dead. So today the city comes and goes, no, we're gonna give you another tree, and so they plop them another tree. And now they're taking it out and cutting a hole in their tree, or cutting a hole in their tree, digging a hole in their yard, I'm sure, to give them a new tree. It's like, wow, so adamant. And I wouldn't have been surprised if they had dropped off another tree at the other place, at the neighbor that doesn't have it, because originally he didn't get a tree. He was like, I don't want a tree. He adamantly fought for this no tree thing, and it was fine, whatever. This was like 25 years ago, so I could have even been 30 years ago. I don't even know. I don't know, but but then he was told, no, you're getting a tree. Something to the effect of, eventually you're getting a tree. Like, no, you're getting a tree. And they kept, like, not arguing, but, like, basically stating, no, you're getting a tree. It may take a while, but you're getting a tree. And he's just like, oh, you suck a poo-poo. Kind of thing, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if they dropped them off a tree today and were like, nope, you're getting your dang tree. You know what I mean? Like, nope, you're getting a tree. So. Because instead of just letting the tree die or taking out the tree, they're like, no, you're getting it. For the one that's dead, he's like, no, you're getting a tree. You're getting a new tree. It's like, oh, okay. I'm just looking at it out my window. And it's like, wow. Wow. You're getting a tree. Holy flippin' moly. Because they want the same aesthetic that they had before. The same aesthetic look as they had before. Where it was like a trees and nice. And they don't want random... Because that's the other thing, too. Not every single house had to have their tree cut down. So you go far, like, down the opposite direction, so, like, east. And... Right? Like, the opposite direction of where they took the trees from originally. And some of the houses there don't have to have them cut down. So there's big trees here. And so they don't want, like, a whole section of, like, 15, 20 houses just... it's almost so done. But anyway, it's 1 o'clock, so I might finish soon. But anyway, I'm just gonna finish this. Trees just empty, and then everybody else go, but I have to have a damn big tree here now. What the heck? You know? So they just kind of were like, nope, you got a tree. Just dumb. It's dumb for certain people because in Montreal they did the same thing, and somehow the tree fell down or something. So or never got planted properly, and I don't remember exactly. Somehow this woman got, and she's not young, so she's fairly old. So, and she's trying to make the point of, I'm not, raking leaves, in 10 years from now. No, this is stupid. This is dumb. Yeah, so somehow she got her tree removed, or somehow her tree is gone. So I don't remember how they did it. I'm sure you could technically contest this in some sort of, like, court setting. Oh, first of all, the stupid setup of the street is dumb. But anyway. And it's dumb because it's just... We don't know this for a fact, but... Somebody... No, I think they did confirm this eventually. If I'm not mistaken. Right? It was... They... What's the word? They had... like money for a grant, and they had money like in a pot somewhere in the city, and they were like, we don't want this money to go to waste. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was a grant that had a certain amount of time to be used, and they were going to lose this money. And so what they did, they were like, oh well, you know what, let's put bike paths around places. And like, okay, it's not the worst, but certain places made some sense. No, I'm not even joking. Like 99% of the places just, or 95 to 99% of the places just make no sense. Right? Just none. And my street has been cut in half widthwise because they added 2 stupid bike paths. One, which is halfway, which is useless. It's so tiny and just useless. What's the point? And then they made a giant bike path on my side of the street. It's dumb. Anyway. No, I had the last straw was like, this is ridiculous. When I was driving, okay, and off-ramp, right, to get off something, they go and put a bike path right across that off-ramp. What kind of stupid person is gonna... Oh my god, it's just dangerous and dumb. Just, in my opinion, it's just really stupid. These bike paths... This is the problem. It was 2018 when they put it up, okay? I believe. And for a year and a half, it's been up. They got more use out of it in the first, 3 months of, 2020 than the year and a half it was up for previously. So dumb. Not the first month, but the first 3 months of the pandemic of 2020. Then they did. The whole year and a half it was up. So it's like, oh my god, that's so dumb. Which, okay, fine. It's just nobody uses it ever. It's so useless. It's the parking situation, which is dumb. the fact that they've cut the thing in half, and honestly, structurally, right? It doesn't make any sense because my neighbor made the point. They've decided to take the middle of the road, push it back to the other side of the road, not my side, the other side, farther to that side, and structurally, everybody's right on top of the plumbing piping, the pipes, So structurally, that does not make any sense. That will not last long term. It's like, but when they had it the other way, right? They were right between the pipe. They were on either side of the pipes. So, there's not that much weight on pipes. Now it's super weight on pipes. It's just dumb. That's just a dumb setup. But anyway, I don't think it's the worst. Let's be honest here. It's just that stupid. Because they're trying to regentrify everything. Everybody's trying to regentrify and look all green. And the mayor of Montreal, who's a woman, Valérie Plante, is just like, oh, we've got to regentrify. And she says, oh, there's going to be a park in there's going to be first of all, there's going to be downtown West Island, which is weird, but anyway. And there's a park in the West Island, anyway. Park, anyway. She's trying to make a bike path, and I'll use bikes. It's like, oh my god. It's the stupid Pete Buttigieg crap of if you know Pete Buttigieg, he's a transport minister or something, or something to that effect. I'm not 100% sure about that, what his title is exactly, but it's to the effect of that. And he goes, because I think somebody asked him some question well, what happens with this, and cars are getting more expensive, and this, that, and the other thing, and blah blah blah. How would you make this? And I think it was to the effect of green cars or something. I'm not 100% sure. And then he just goes, because he biked, or he's a video of him biking somewhere, and he's like, well, we could all be using bikes. And the person basically looked at him like, no, stupid, no, that's not happening. We're not all biking everywhere to work. This isn't Sweden or whatever. This isn't Scandinavian countries that do that. Sorry. No, it doesn't make sense. And that's a stupid thing about it. If cars are one of the big contributors to this, global warming, pollution, climate change, mumbo jumbo, right? Then why wouldn't you just give us all free transport, free public transit, legit, seriously? It's the same crap that they used last year, where they didn't care about our health last year. They would have told us, get outside and here's a free month of the gym, and everyone gets a voucher to buy free food, $100 worth of free food or whatever, right? Or whatever, right? No, they don't care. So the guy's complaining about. Also, somebody else made the point. It was Ben Heck made the point. He just makes a video, and he just plops an entire stupid amount of advertisement, junk mail, plopped it down, and goes, if you guys are so worried about this climate crap, they shouldn't exist. But he's like, yeah, but the paper industries and the manufacturers of all these things, oh no, they pay big money to basically shut up the climate, people. It's also because it gets thrown away. It's not even a useful thing. That's just making it worse. No, it's useless. Virtually nobody does it anymore, uses it anymore, has it anymore, cares. They don't care. They don't, the statistics are not, that's a useful thing. Not at all. So, in there's still enough people, right? There's a justifiable number. Maybe there is a justifiable number, but no offense, you could just lower your standards, right? Your justifiable number lower to be well, falls under our justifiable number. Because what I mean by that is the number that justifies doing something. The number of people it takes to keep something running. It's to justify it. So the justifiable number. Anyway, it kind of drives me a little nuts because stop being all this hypocritical you know, two-faced crap where it's like, well, this is horrible. But these other things that are also horrible, we don't care because, also because it's not a visibly bad thing, or it's not a thing that you could see a big appreciable difference if you got rid of, like a stupid appreciable difference, right? So they're like, well, you can't do this and that and this and that. But these other things that also do the same pollution, nah, forget it. We don't really care because the lobbyists are just paying us out. So what's the difference here? The paper lobbyists are saying, well, we need to produce paper, you know. Like our industries will go down the tubes, right? So, is it a water park or a... Oh no, that's just a... Oh no, I thought it was just a walking path. Because it looks like a walking path from the left, but the right, I don't know. Anyway, because that's the thing. In Washington, I'm sure there's lobbyists, all these lobbyists for the inks guys. There's the lobbyists for the paper. There's the lobbyists for just the advertising itself, the printing plants. It's all these lobbyists thing. And a lobbyist is someone who basically comes from a company and vouches to say, well, this is why we need this, or this is why this should exist. And lobbyists usually just pay Washington to say, no. We're going to keep this happening and this happening. And the laws that help, that benefit us, yeah, you better make laws that benefit us because we'll pay you lots of money. So it's like, oh. So the lobbyists are like, well, you better not do that. Or they have a big stake in something and they're like, oh, we'll get rid of this if you don't. And they're like, oh, well, we can't have that. Oh no, you know, like, stupid crap. My best friend's dad made the point. He goes, we were told we were always with the promise of told with the promise that we would be printing so much less things in the future because, you know, whatever. No, we're printing more than we ever did in history because we're taking all these stupid. There's still all these stupid things that need to be that are all these things that are printed that stupidly need to be, or that are all digital that stupidly need to be printed. You know, because he was at the movies and he's like, he's holding these 2 movie tickets he printed out and he's like, this is so stupid. Because we were told with we were always with the promise that, oh, well, we're printing so much less. Oh no, we were always told that we were going to print less with the promise that we save money, right? Not printing, right? But no, we're printing more. I'm holding this. Now, of course, he could have, you know, had an email with the ticket in it, but like, he's just saying, no, printing more, because we're doing what's called to hard copy, right? Oh, give me a hard copy of that, which is, you know, print it out. It's like, we just print so much more. We use so much paper. It's insane. It's ridiculous. And Canada is one of the worst countries for recycling because we don't separate anything with anything, and so we don't bother having separators at the right spots. Apparently, I don't know. I'm not a expert on all this, but I've heard this off of our CBC radio, and it was basically a guy who's, I don't know what qualifications he had, but he was somehow qualified to explain like the pollute, like how our recycling system works. And it's stupid. Well, the other stupid thing is we were sending a lot of garbage to Philippines, and the Philippines literally at one point went, no, screw this, you take care of your own garbage, and literally sent the ship that has garbage on it back to us. And we're like, oh my gosh. Anyway, that's the thing though. Inconveniencing people like us to try and stop the problem. North America is not the problem with pollution. Now, yes, of course, we contribute to pollution. Of course. But I'm saying we don't have a big problem. Like, we're not the contributing factor. We're not the contributing factor. It's places like China who dump how much sewage into the ocean, how much pollution. China's the most polluted country in the world. There are days when they tell people, yeah, don't go outside. So, just don't go. Oh, today, not good enough to go outside. Too much smog. So, it's like, God, Lord. Not that it's the absolute... Well, no, I was going to say not the absolute worst. No, it is. It's bad. It's bad. So, telling us, oh, stop using whatever, styrofoam delivery containers, and you got to use more eco-friendly stuff. Yeah, sure, fine. But you have to stick it down on China and say, no, China, you're the problem. I think I asked my dad, well, what's the solution then? He's like, we're not the problem. He goes, well, what's the solution? He goes, you tell China to stop doing crap like that. Right? You just tell the place that's polluting the most, don't do that. It's stupid. Stop doing this. You do it with tariffs, you do it with whatever. Whatever. You do it with there are a bunch of different ways you can do it, so. Anyway, so yeah, I think that'll be it for now, guys. So, adios,